Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Hey.
Hey. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Jill.
Hello.
Listeners, you may not believe this, but I'm still hungry. Jill still hasn't given me anything to eat. I've been starving all week. Nothing to eat. I'm withering away to nothing.
You don't want anything that I offered.
All I want you to do is just make something for me, like even a biscuit.
I'll make you some toast. You want to make you some
make
toast?
me some toast?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll settle for that.
Okay.
What's going on, Jill?
Well,
what are we doing?
This time we're talking about, are you the person they see? Are you actually that person? It's part of the segment that we call
Stand by Your Stance.
So, are you the person that others perceive you to be, sweetheart?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Well, let's start with, what do you think what do you think their perception of you is?
That's a good question.
I can tell you what people say to me about you. Would you like for me to share that?
I don't know if I think that much about how people perceive me.
You don't?
No, not really. Not for the most part.
So you don't...
only like when it comes to like things like writing.
What do you mean?
Well, because I don't have any degrees or anything. I don't have an MFA. So,
I barely got mine.
I perceive that I'm immediately discounted because I didn't put in the work.
There are plenty of excellent writers out there who don't have advanced degrees.
But again, this is my perception. I'm not saying that's what people think. It's my perception. But as far as what people see me as I present myself as, that's who I am.
How do you present yourself?
A nice guy, happy guy.
Wild and crazy guy.
Wild and crazy guy. Good one, Jill. No, but a nice, friendly guy, someone that's kind. I mean, as you know, Jill, I can fit in almost anywhere. So we're talking about different
places
types of
you
people.
want to fit in.
No, I mean,
there are other places you're like, I didn't like being around them.
But I could still fit in. I can still have conversations and people would, still like me. Not that it really matters that much to me, but I am kind of what I present myself as. I think it's more for me. There may be more things that people don't know about me.
Why do you say that?
Well, I give people a small picture of who I am. Like, a lot of people don't know I can write. A lot of people don't know I ever drove a truck. A lot of people don't know that I've been learning to play the drums. There's a lot of things about me people don't know.
That's true. And you only let certain audiences know those things. So there are very few. I think there's a small group of people who knows you do all those things.
Yeah.
Whereas you might show this group of people that you might show this group of people that you do this group of people that you do that.
Correct.
That kind of thing.
Exactly.
And why is that?
Well, I'm not going to discuss poetry or spoken word, that part of me with a bunch of truck drivers.
They may like it.
I'm not going to do it. I know truck drivers. I know truck drivers. I'm not saying that truck drivers aren't capable of it, but I'm saying in general, that's not something.
That's not the right audience.
Yeah, that's not the right audience. And then at the same token, I'm not going to go around a bunch of intellectuals and talk about nothing but trucks. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I don't like talking about trucks anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, do you think people perceive you differently when you're by yourself versus when you're with me as a couple?
Well, it's funny because people perceive me very differently on how I may dress.
Yes.
So what is that? I mean, I'm not doing anything different other than dressing differently. But people get a vast I mean, they're really like, I could be considered the garbage man. I could be considered a homeless person. I could be considered a banker. I could be, it all depends on how I dress.
But isn't that true of all of us?
No.
People make snap judgments.
No, it's not true
people
of all of us.
People do make snap judgments based on what you're wearing.
Yes, they do.
They do.
But it's not true of everyone. Everyone does not have the ability to just by changing their clothes create a different perception. Not that you're being a different person, but a different perception.
Are you talking about like the difference if someone had to appear in court?
Yes.
And normally they would never wear a suit, but their lawyer tells them they need to present a certain image.
Correct.
Okay.
But then there's some people that can't do that even if they put on a suit. They can still see. I mean, like for instance, if you put a suit on, but yet your face is still tattooed. You still have tattoos all over your face, a teardrop hanging out from your eye. It's hard to pull that off.
Sure.
It's hard to put on, let's say, leotards and tell someone you're a ballerina. I'm a ballerina. I'm wearing a tutu.
Sure.
So
you brought up attire when I asked about the perception of you as part of a couple.
I brought up a what?
Attire.
Attire? Oh, a tire. I thought you said
ATTIRE. Clothing. Oh my God.
You said a tire. We're changing a tire now? I don't want to change anything. We weren't talking about changing tires.
We were talking about changing clothes.
No. Well, wait a minute.
So that's
what are you saying?
I had asked you if you think the perception of you is different when you're with me as part of a couple, and then you brought up how you dress.
Yeah, when I'm with you, my stock goes up.
That's not true.
It is true. Yes, it is true.
That's not true.
It is true. Yes,
it's not true.
Listeners will tell you.
They will not tell you that.
Our listeners
they will
not
not say
you.
that.
Yeah, they will. They will tell you.
Won't.
Yes.
Most of the time, people who know both of us, most of the time they like you better.
My stock.
So my stock goes up.
My stock and my IQ goes up when I just stand next to you.
That is not true.
Oh, yes, it is.
Stop
it's very true. It's very true.
True.
It is.
I've told you about the people who come up and like, oh, you're nice, but Tony, we'll invite Tony when we want to have some fun. So they think of you more than me. They think I'm not fun.
Yeah, but they go to you for knowledge. Ah.
So sharing knowledge means I'm not fun?
No, it means I'm more fun than you. I'm just that way.
I think that's the perception, though.
I don't no, I think I'm a little more fun than you, Jill.
You don't think I'm fun?
I'm a little more outgoing than you. How about that?
Oh, well, that is definitely true because as we've discussed before, I'm the introvert.
Not really, but
I am. The stimuli, I don't need people as my I don't too many people is too much stimuli for me. And maybe that's because I'm an only child, or I grew up as an only child.
It's all gone.
And I
only children, only children.
Yay for only children. So I'm used to my own company more so than other
So am
people.
I. How about that? So
But you
am
don't.
I. I spend more time alone than most people I know.
That's right, you do. In fact, I think it takes that kind of person who likes to be alone to do what you do.
So yeah, but I'm the same person that can go to a party and be the life of the party.
You
So
are.
what's that all about?
As you
So
said,
am I what is this topic? So our topic is
are you the person they see?
so am I I think maybe the listeners need to tell me, am I the person that they see?
I think you are. Except the thing I think people who don't spend time having even a conversation with you, I think they don't realize how brilliant you are.
Oh, Jill, please don't say that.
Why not?
I never like when you say that.
I know, but why?
Because I'm
If
not.
someone call me brilliant, I'll be like, thanks.
Yeah, but I'm not brilliant.
Smart, intelligent.
You could say I'm intelligent, but I'm not brilliant.
Well, I think you're smarter
Like a
than some people give you
star,
credit
bright
for.
and brilliant. No.
You actually are. People
No.
will see. Mark my word, they're going to see.
Well,
And I can say, I said it first.
well, when the masses say I'm brilliant, then I will accept it.
Oh, no,
Until
no.
then, I will not accept it.
So you're saying the masses,
the masses
you believe
of
the
people.
masses and not me? Is that what you're trying to say?
Because you're biased.
I am not biased.
Oh, you are most definitely biased.
I said that before I really even knew you.
You then you were mistaken.
No, I still believe it.
You're mistaken.
No,
It was a mistake.
it was not. It is not.
It was a mistake.
The world will see.
You are biased. Listeners, please tell Jill she's biased.
I'm not.
Please tell her.
I said that before I ever fell in love with you. So I'm not biased.
No, you was in love with me at first sight. So
no, I wasn't.
yes, you were.
I couldn't even tell my friends what you look like. So there.
Because you were so in love with me. Love can blind a person. So the moment you saw me, you were blinded.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's right.
That's your story. You're sticking to it.
Blinded.
Okay.
By my
well,
charisma.
now I can see.
By my charisma.
Yeah, okay. If that's what you want to think. Okay, sweetheart.
Yeah, but I think the listeners that have met us or met me, they'll tell whether I am what I present myself as. I believe I do. I'm really pretty honest. I don't try to ever show that I'm more than what I am or less than what I am either.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I just
because some
I know
used
what you're
to
getting at. Go ahead.
I used to think that because men would outright tell me before I met you that I intimidated them.
Mm-hmm.
That I used to wish I were the kind of woman who would kind of dumb my abilities down.
I'm glad you're not.
But I'm not. So I never did do that.
We would
like what
together.
You see is what you get in that regard.
Yeah.
So I think people though I do think people perceive you as the person you really are.
Well,
but I don't think the same of me. I think people get me all wrong. Definitely wrong.
Do you know what people find most surprising about you, Jill?
That I'm not bougie?
No.
I'm not bougie.
That you're funny. See, you say things as a matter of fact.
That is the kind of sense of humor I have.
But you don't say
but I don't know
you don't
I'm being
say it
funny.
as a joke.
I'm not being I'm not joking.
You know, a few episodes.
I mean that.
And the listeners, if you remember this, it was a few episodes back. I told Jill, yeah, I got to keep you on your toes. I keep you on your toes. And Jill said,
I don't want to be a ballerina.
Or I'm not a ballerina.
I'm not a ballerina.
Yes. And I couldn't stop laughing because that was an excellent response. It really did make me laugh. So, you know, that and I don't talk like that. I talk like this.
I don't see why that's funny. I still don't see why that's funny. That's a fact.
So yeah.
So do you think people have me right, other than the sense of humor part?
No. I think most of the time people don't get you right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they think I'm bougie. They think I'm stuck up. They think I'm rich. That's the funniest one to me. I have never been rich.
I think you're rich too. I think the stalk dropped you in the wrong place. The stalk dropped you in the wrong place. The stalk.
The stalk. The stalk.
The stalk. You know the stalk, the bird that carries the babies.
I thought you meant Jack and the Beanstalk.
No.
You're saying
the stalk. The stalk. The bird. You know the stalk. Carries the babies and delivers them.
So you think the stork?
Yes, the stork
put me in Kentucky when I should have been in someplace else.
Yeah, the upper east side of New York or something like that. Yeah, so that's why you have these. That's why people perceive you as being rich. You have that air about you. You have that air.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I think did you just insult me?
No, of course not.
That air about me.
Yeah. You know, no, New York is where I'd rather stay.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of.
I did relate to Green Acres.
Yes. So that's you do have that air about you. What you gonna do about it?
Nothing.
Hey, listeners.
That's the thing about perception.
Hey, listeners,
you don't really change other people's perceptions.
Listeners, especially the listeners that have met Jill. Listeners, Jill has been asking me to buy her a flask. She has been asking me to buy her a flask for years and years. And Jill,
cute.
You would never put your lips on a flask to drink straight liquor.
Yes, I would, because that's what it's designed to do.
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't drink out of a bottle, but I would drink out of a flask because you're supposed to.
So I could get some straight liquor, some brown liquor.
Well, I didn't say what I would put in it.
Oh, you have to put liquor in a flask.
Well, in my opinion, you put alcohol.
Are you going to put iced tea?
No, you just put alcohol. It doesn't have to be brown liquor.
What kind of? Well, you could put clear liquor. You
could put vodka. That's what I always said I would do with it.
How many shots of vodka have you done in your life?
Shots?
Yes, that's straight liquor. That's straight vodka.
What was the shot in where did we go?
Cozumel.
What was that shot?
I don't know what that was, but it came out of a squeeze bottle. I know that. In a conga line.
So that wasn't vodka?
Did I ever tell the listeners that story?
I'm sure you did.
I don't think I told the listeners. I don't think I told the listeners that story about the conga line in Cozumel partying at noon. Might have been 11 o'clock in the morning. Just partying.
It was noon. Well, that's where we were on a cruise. That's where they dropped us off.
And a shot conga line. So as you went through this conga line, about every 15 feet, there was a guy standing on a chair with a squeeze bottle of some kind of liquor. And you would have to tilt your head back and take a shot.
But what I didn't know.
Only Jill didn't know it was that kind of conga line.
I didn't. I was like, oh, a conga line. This is fun. And I couldn't see what was happening ahead of me.
There was a tall guy really tall. Of you.
Yeah, so I couldn't see what was happening. So I was very surprised when it was my turn.
Yeah.
But I did it.
And then you left the conga line immediately. Oh no, this is not for me. So see, Jill, you.
But that has nothing to do with the flask.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No one, Jill. if a person saw you with a flask in your hand,
But isn't the
and it
idea of
doesn't-
a flask not to like let a lot of people see you?
if you wouldn't
You-
even look right. You know what? If I got you a flask and I put it in your hand, the flask would probably jump out of your hand because the flask would say, I'm not supposed to be here.
I don't
She's not
understand.
supposed to touch me.
I don't understand.
You have too much class for a flask. Too much
I don't think that's
for-
true. But isn't a
it
flask
is
like a
true.
well, depending on what kind of flask, aren't flasks
what type
classy?
what type of people carry a flask?
I worked with a lot of. This is how I got the idea. I worked with a lot of people who had flasks in their drawers at work.
Alcoholics.
They weren't alcoholics.
Oh,
they
yes,
just
they were.
needed
They
a
was
hit
out-
every
they was
now
out
and
there.
then
They was
to
out-
get them through the day.
That's what alcoholics say. I just need a little sip, get me through the
Well,
day.
it was in a
And they
stressful
went-
environment. I didn't, and they would share.
Did you have a flask?
No, because you told me I didn't need one.
No, this is before I even met you. You're telling stories about, people having flasks. So, no.
Well, then when I started realizing that
If
I
you-
could probably get by with having a
Jill,
flask
you
at work,
you don't
or when I
drink,
needed one.
But you don't drink.
Well, not now, but I used to.
When have you done shots? I just asked this question a minute
Well,
ago.
okay, I was
And-
counting.
And that was by accident.
by County Cozumel. I did do a shot there. I did a shot. Didn't we do shots together?
No, we've never done shots together.
Not even on New Year's Eve. We didn't do a shot.
No, never. We've never done a shot together.
I can't remember when I did a shot, but I know I have.
Well, actually, I did. You agreed to have a shot one time with me.
Okay. So see?
You took one sip and then I had to finish the rest.
Because the glass was so much bigger than a shot glass.
No, it was a shot glass. It was just a tall, slender shot
Well, I didn't know
glass.
that it was going to be that size.
But my point is, you don't need a flask. You're not the type of woman that carries a flask.
But
Sorry.
sometimes you just might need that in
You
a
don't
stressful
drink.
situation.
Because you don't drink.
That's why I wouldn't.
Hey,
it would be
Jill,
okay that I had
Typically,
one.
people that carry flasks are probably alcoholics.
No, not the people I'm talking about.
They were closet alcoholics.
They were not alcoholics.
Yes, they were.
They just understood.
that they need a little shot to get them through
And
the day.
some of them were British, and so they said that
Oh,
was perfectly
so-
normal
so
to have alcohol at work. To them, that was
that's
normal.
Right. That's
So
right.
they the container for them
Yes.
was a flask because it
Uh-huh.
fit easily into the drawer.
Yeah. I remember the days when people had bars in their offices.
Yeah.
Like full bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Did you ever have a full bar? Have you ever carried a flask? No.
but I would if
No.
I had one.
You could buy one anytime you wanted.
It seems more special if it came from you.
I'm not getting you one.
Why?
It's just a waste of money. You don't need
Why?
a flask.
Why?
You have too much class. I just told you that. You're too classy.
I don't think it has anything to do with classy people have flasks.
Too classy.
I don't think it has
You're
anything
not
to
an
do with class.
alcoholic, and you don't drink.
I
Come
do every
on.
now and then.
No flask for you. No.
Let's get to our
no
second segment that
flask.
we call, because we're way off topic. Let's get to our second segment that we call.
Give it a rest and a resolution.
Well, my conclusion is I don't think you know who I am.
Oh, I know exactly who you are. You're not a woman.
I'm a woman
You're
who-
not a
who
woman
could
that
carry-
drinks from a flask.
But I would if I had one.
You know what? I can go on for hours on this one. But my conclusion is that if you don't drink, you don't need a flask.
What about for special occasions? That is when I drink.
Special occasions, you drink out of a glass. Okay. You
Well,
don't
maybe
drink out
you
of a
could have
flask.
Maybe you
Don't-
could have a glass
don't
and I'll
you-
have a flask.
Don't you know a flask? This is why you don't need a flask. don't you know the flask? Do you know why it's shaped the way it is?
No. Never thought about it.
Never thought about it. It's so you can put it inside your jacket pocket so people couldn't see it when you go into the club. So you order
You're speaking
something
from a male point of view, right? Because I don't know any jackets.
no, it's still shaped like that too because women
Can
would
put
put
it
it
in their
in their
purse.
garter belt. In their, I mean, no, not the garter. Yeah, the little thing that goes around the leg.
Okay, I
Garter.
can do that.
Yeah. But that's why it's shaped that way, so it'll conform to your body.
So for Valentine's Day, if I wear a garter belt, you'll put a flask in it for me?
So people won't see it when you go into the club.
Okay.
And see, then you can order, I just want a Coca-Cola, please. A Coca-Cola is cheaper than a drink.
Okay.
And then nobody's looking. You pour a little from your flask in there.
Okay.
Or you go to the restroom and you take a little shot from your flask.
Well, I don't.
You're not that kind of a woman, Jill.
But why do I have to go out to do it? Why can't I just have a flask?
You don't need one. It's a waste of money.
Somebody's going to get me a flask. I'm going to put that on my next Christmas list. See who's going to give it to me. That's what I'm going to do.
Nobody's getting you a flask.
Jill. They might.
Anyone you tell you want a flask, they'll all laugh. Everybody will laugh.
So Nick,
no, Jill,
Nick, our son-in-law, he would get it.
He won't get it.
He would get it for me.
No,
Nick.
No, he won't because his wife will tell him, "Don't you dare."
No, she'll think it's funny.
No, she won't.
Yes, she will.
Don't you dare.
She'll think it's funny.
Give her not gonna happen.
They'll think it's funny and they'll do it. You'll see.
Not gonna. Maybe one of the listeners will send you a flask. Maybe a listener that doesn't know you. Maybe that's it.
Well, let's get to our third segment.
Don't we have a third segment or something?
Because I think you don't know who I am, much less the strangers. All right, let's get to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
Do you have advice for people who may be different than who they're perceived to be?
Well, yes. If you find that people, excuse me, are not perceiving you as the person you are, then maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're not really showing them.
Would you like to try again?
What do you mean?
People don't perceive me as the person I really am. And you know what? I don't care. I'm going to be who I am. And once they get to know me, then they'll see.
You're a flask carrying woman, huh?
That's right. You'll see. You'll see. So my advice is if people perceive you differently than the person you really are, it doesn't really mean that you're doing things wrong. It's just that they're not as observant as they think they are.
Well,
or they haven't taken the time to get to know you.
Well, actually,
and who cares?
Actually, I do agree.
Ah.
I actually do, because I've had people come up to me and they would say, you know what? When I first met you, I didn't like you. And I would say, why not? And they would say, I just didn't like the way you looked.
Right. You could just walk in the room. You haven't said or done anything. And people may not like you.
I just didn't like the way you look. But then they would say, but once I got to know you, I saw you were, nice guy, cool guy, great guy to hang around with.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you agree with me. So let's get to our fourth segment that we call.
So, what do you think? What do you think?
Because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
So we would really love to hear from our listeners.
We would. Yes, we would.
So who do you think we are?
Please tell Jill that she's not the flask carrying type.
I am.
At 404-594-2247. Please let her know, because she is definitely confused.
I'm not confused about who I am. I know who I am.
Yeah.
So with that, let's end the show.
Yes, we better end this show.
I am Jill Cox Cordova.
And flask carrying woman. I thought you were going to say
That's all.
And I'm Anthony Cordova.
And you've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm right.
Shout out Gifford Ivan Cordova III. And for Nick Zinke, who's going to come through with that blast for me.
Don't you do it, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Don't you do
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Bye.